Hello everyone and welcome to another Division 2 video. Today actually with an announcement before we go to the game, which is that the tournament that I have been planning, for those of you who haven't heard about it, I have been planning a tournament, is about to come. So the signups have opened up, I think yesterday as of time recording, but anyway, as of the time that this video goes live, you have 2 weeks to sign up if you want to participate. So what is the tournament about? Well, it's relatively simple. You have to leave some tabs empty, so this should force you to think a little bit different and just make for an interesting rule set instead of the standard rules that we often have. So yeah, if you're interested, go participate. The sign up is in the FOB HQ Discord. Link will be in the description down below. The rule set will also be linked down below, where you can read a little bit in more detail on how this works. There is a system for determining how many tabs to leave empty and whatnot. You have a lot of options there to decide for yourself. So this is, yeah, I think that's the most important stuff. So yeah, I'm happy to see as many people as possible sign up. Everyone is welcome. Doesn't matter what skill level you have. Yeah, rule set will also be linked down below if you're interested. And I think with that, we now start introducing the video actually. Today, for you with Game 4 between Stan and Jaapaasa in this league season's final in Division 2. So the first 2 games went to Stan, the third went to Jaapaasa. So today I guess we can see if Jaapaasa can continue his redemption arc or if Stan will claim his victory. So in either case, this will be a very important game because yeah, either we're gonna see another one or it's over from here, but at the latest in Game 5, if you happen to see it, it will be decided. So we have an interesting matchup here on this map. We are on Kostritsa and we have CIABG versus Kampfgruppe Walther. Neither of those are exactly divisions that I would want to play on this map. Now, I've seen CIABG doing well on this map, played by Gonzo versus Farid, but I think that was more of a Gonzo thing, and Farid having a rough time getting a chance of getting a good pick against it than the pure strength of CIABG. I would really love to know what the picks and what the bans were here, because I mean, I'm sure there have to be better choices by Jaapaasa, but maybe I'm just wrong. But anyway, so I think we're just going to hop to the decks now and see what awaits us there. And we have once again Kampfgruppe Walther, and unfortunately he did build the deck a little bit differently. I mean, it's a smart choice, but that means I need to redo the editing with the info cards. So the recon type, we do have some Scharfschütze and Erkundung, so that much is pretty much the same. Infantry type, I think, is mostly the same as well, although he has changed some veterancy, and most important, I think he has shifted some units around, so now we do have the Fallschirmjäger FG42 in A phase. We do also have the Gepanzerte Panzergrenadier Panzerfaust in A phase as well, and then the Fallschirmjäger MG34 has moved to B phase, and with veterancy, so that we have a little bit less infantry than in the first game. Tank type has also changed a little bit. There is one less card of Panthers, which is reasonable. I mean, you don't need that many of them on Kostritsa. Support type, I think, is pretty much the same. A T-tab is nicely adapted to the matchup, so we have one card of Panzerrex in A and one in B phase, which is very, very reasonable. I mean, there's a lot of closer range engagements where the Panzerrex can really shine. And there's a pack 40 in A phase, I guess, to deal with those Cromwell 7s. And then the pack 36 is moved to B phase, which is actually very smart because, first of all, you get a lot of them that are cost efficient and that you have more pen than the pack 38. So you can actually better deal with some of the up armored targets. And then we still have the Jagdpanzer 4 and the Panzer 4/70 in a B phase, as well as another one, as well as another Jagdpanzer 4 in A phase. We don't have the Jagdpanther, which is pretty pointless on this map and in this matchup. A8 tab, we do have an 88. That's about it. And on top of them, with Wagner Flak filling, or maybe we had that in the last game as well. Artillery type has also changed a little bit. He brings the Fallschirmjäger 81mm mortars with the radar. We have shorter range, much like a 60mm mortar, but radio. And I think on this map, this actually still works out pretty well. And the air type is, again, the rocket Focke-Wulf, but this time the big bomb Focke-Wulf in A phase, since he also plays it Maverick, of course. And on the other side, we do have CIABG. Now, I'm not so sure, even though it's Kostritsa, and it's not exactly the best map for this division, I'm not so sure if it's a good idea to give that to Stan. First of all, it's CIABG, which is still pretty strong, even though, as I said, not well adjusted to this map, but Stan and Cromwell divisions, there's a history that he definitely knows exceptionally well how to play those. So I would be a little bit afraid if I was Jaapaasa. So in recon, we do have the FFO Fumara. It's just a Panzerschreck squad. Then we have a Steward and some Cromwells in a recon role with radio, which is pretty nice. And then you have the Boyova Litka. I think this is a hybrid unit, not particularly great, but I mean, you don't have that much Seekers in this division, so having a hybrid unit is not exactly the worst thing that can happen to you. Then the infantry tab, we do have a surprisingly low amount of infantry, and especially a surprisingly low amount of FFO Fusilier. But it is Stan. He is well known, I think, to survive with very low amounts of infantry, even unbalanced, actually. So it always surprises me, but it's not exactly unexpected. We have the Converted Gunners UK, which are relatively chunky. They got a Bren, which makes them actually not too bad now. We get a Leader Siniste, and then the Converted RAF, which are also pretty chunky. They got a Vickers, which is actually one of the better light machine guns for the Commonwealth, so nothing to complain there. And then the Motostrelsi in B phase. On top of that, tank tab, Stewards and Cromwells, as well as Churchills, of course. He brings the Firefly in a B phase. We don't have a single card of Cromwell 7s in A phase. So Jaapaasa's pack 14 A phase doesn't actually bring him that much, if that's what he was afraid of. We do see them all in B phase, so he could just swarm the place. I can see a potential problem arising there, unless the Panzer Force is going to stop that. Support tab, MG42, Cromwell 6 and 8. For 2kg, commander and ammo. AT tab, very light and all heavy AT guns. So it's not light, but it's small. That's what I was going to say. Panzerschreck, of course, and then the 17 pounds in A and B phase, which is surprising to me because, I mean, you have the road that you can cover off and then the open. And other than that, there's not much where you can cover things with them efficiently. That's my point, right? You can, of course, cover close ranges too, but it's not necessarily the most efficient way of doing it. And the A tab, just Crusaders, and then the 94mm B phase as well. Artillery's 25 pounder in A phase Leader, and the 182.9mm. And then the air tab, the Spitfire. This is a nice one. It's a recon plane, but it has weapons. And then Spitfire as fighter bomber and rocket Typhoons in B phase. So quite a potent air tab. I'm surprised not to see the Typhoons as fighter bomber though. And we are back. So let's look at the deployment, and it actually looks interesting. So down south, we do not really have any push by Stan. We just have one Converted Gunners to hold the flag, and FFO Fumara going here for recon, and that's about it. And the Jaapaasa on the other side reacts, because he, of course, has to expect a push here, which is not actually happening. We do have Pack 38 covering this off, because a push there could also be happening. I do have some CQC, of course, following FG42, an LG to cover things here as well. So he actually covers, I expected more of this. I didn't look at the units at first. I thought more of this would just go here to make sure that he doesn't lose that flag. But it's actually covering a variety of places, which is reasonable if he doesn't know where the push comes. And Stan is known to put a massive tank plop in one spot and just go. Not so sure if trying to fight it off everywhere is the way to go, though, or if it's just better to make a massive push somewhere else. I would say this is probably the way to go. Pack 40 open as well as a MG42 just to hold this. And then in the town, very lightly as well. It goes a little bit harder into this forest. I do have Pack 38 covering off this road here. Might actually snipe some units or at least prevent any pushes there. And then just some infantry and Panzerschreck in the center as well. On Stan's side, we have a Cromwell 6 for the open. So 2k HE there already, and some units deploying over here. I guess this is recon. Yeah, some more recon. So Stan valuing a recon a lot. It's not that Jaapaasa doesn't bring recon. We have seen the sniper here, and we've seen, I think, Beobacht here, yeah, in the church tower. But it's definitely a bit different. And another Cromwell 6 here in the town. So no actual regular Cromwell. It's just support Cromwells. And just some FFO Fusilier and a Steward. So very lightly deployed actually in town. And here comes the tank blob up north. So something over here, I guess. Oh no. Disgusting, Stan. So he's trying to sneak a Panzerschreck free. This map is really bad for this, because it's so easy to do it, and it's really hard to actually prevent it without spending a lot of points on it. You can, of course, easily stop it if you have units everywhere. but then you lose the rest of the map. So this map is really just inviting you to do it. Then a little bit of infantry, some Stuarts. I'm not even sure where they are going. Okay, here and here. And then we have all of the Churchills pushing for the town. I'm not really sure what he plans to do with them afterwards, like moving through here or here. Because it's not... You can definitely make some progress up here, but it's not the easiest thing. You can definitely try to walk your way through here, but it's also not necessarily the easiest thing to do. So I'm very curious now to see. And I think we're going to do just that. We also have an AR-234 out. So neither player goes super aggressively anywhere, actually. Stan definitely has the potential for a big push here. It's definitely like ready up for it. This Spitfire is, yeah, it's too slow. It will not catch the AR if the AR tries to stay out of its way. But the Spitfire is still armed, so still potentially dangerous for the AR. And if it gets at the back when it's close enough, it can still shoot. Which doesn't seem to be the case. It can outturn the AR though. It might actually be able to get a shot off. Oh! Oh, do we see it? I'm actually always amazed if I talk about these things and then it actually happens. The thing is, yeah, this is the problem. It doesn't have a lot of ammo. Yeah, these things do not do a lot of damage. I'm not even sure if it's going to kill it with that. It's not smoking yet, so I don't... Oh, I actually got it. Okay. Only used 240 bullets for it. After already having damaged it and used all the 20mm ammo. But it did the job, so that's what counts. Initial engagement Pack 38 has been shot at by the Fusilier. Bavarians Arnhem are now answering to that. Sturmpeyer here. Oh, does not catch anything out of cover here. Off guard here as all these units get there in time. Churchills slowly pushing their way in. Cromwells are here. There's no AT up north. I mean, who would expect a counter push here, right? Something... Oh, the Stuart just killed the transport of the Economies. The Economies are probably going to go down as well. We do have a Pack 38 to react, but it might come in too close. I think it should probably sit somewhere back here in order for it to be safe. Panzerschreck also coming in. I think that's probably not going to get into position. Spitfire providing all the valuable information, so AA is desperately needed. This flag, of course, secured as we expected. Neither flag here grabbed by Jaapaasa, but is now going into this one. So in terms of matchup, by the way, I think if Jaapaasa managed to really dig in with his AT, he's in a better spot. He has all the infantry that he can need for the town. He has a lot of Panzerschrecks and some cost-efficient, relatively cheap light AT. And that is incredibly valuable. Oh, 1410 as Jaapaasa grabs these two flags. At the same time, if Stan can just bunch up his armor and can overwhelm the AT in one place, Jaapaasa is going to be struggling. So that's going to be a big problem. Spitfire is coming in, going after the Sturmpeyer Fallschirmjäger combo. Misses, but still pins a lot. As these were moving, of course, it kind of misses. Yeah, we've seen a Cromwell here dying. I've seen it being engaged, but I didn't watch till the end. I know some of you guys will give me shit for that. That's all right. I hope you can see that, like at the edge of the screen, though. Stuart here being moved to stop the Bavarians Arnhem, and this is a problem for Jaapaasa, right? He has a hard time reacting to that light armor. And this is a general issue with this division and this specific matchup, I feel like, and light armor in general. If you don't have light armor yourself, it can be very tricky to deal with it, especially, like, even though if you have light AT, it's not necessarily easy, right? Because you have to actually work hard to... it needs to get into line of sight of your light AT. That's a big problem. So this is definitely, if Stan can use this well to his advantage here, he can definitely be very dangerous for Jaapaasa and maybe even take out a win. But if Jaapaasa manages to dig in, like if Jaapaasa manages to grab this town at any point, that dig in with infantry and Panzerschrecks, I don't think Stan can get him out of there. And in the center, there's not exactly a lot to get for Stan, right? This flag, yeah, further is going to be tricky. This flag, maybe, but Jaapaasa has more infantry to contest this than Stan has. So it's not... Yeah, that's a tricky one. We do see a good push up north, though. Pack 38 has been overwhelmed. Jaapaasa has not brought in another one. He's bringing a Jagdpanzer 4, and that's definitely a problem. The Churchills are coming in at 1,000 meter range. They can pen the Jagdpanzer. Other than that, they cannot. So that's going to be another deciding factor here, I would think. It really depends on if the Jaapaasa can do the work here or not. Fusilier are pushing out. The good thing about those is, as trashy as they are, you know, this thing can shoot in the forest. And it has 2 stands, which suck, but it is something. The Finals Arnhem, on the other hand, has a ZB and the rifles, but this thing is not an automatic rifle. The Jaapaasa will have to bring in proper CQC, and this is cheap too. That's not an important thing. Like, this thing would still win up close against a Panzergrenade in the forest. Now, you're not going to put a Panzergrenade in the forest, but, you know, if you get pushed back like the Finals Arnhem here, you can actually just push with the Fusilier, and that's pretty useful. I wouldn't say it's a hybrid unit, but and I would not necessarily this is the greatest thing in general, but if you have, well, how you say it, it's good to have, right? It's good to have if in situations like these, for example. 12-12 as Stan has regrabbed these 2 flags and is now really pressuring the center. Zanista is in, fighting the Voltymyr FG42, unfortunately, because the Strumpanier could definitely, together with the Voltymyr FG42, could definitely do the trick here. The problem is, one-on-one, they will not do well. The thing I was going to say is, especially for the price, right? This is what you're looking for, right? So this is not necessarily a good feature on a 30-point line. Infantry is still better than not having it, but it is not fantastic, especially considering that the firepower is really bad. But for a 15-point unit, it's not too bad. If it has that capability. Shumpai here is in a spot where it can't really do much. You could technically like put it here and then maybe with the flames do something against those transports. Finals Arnhem, unfortunately, is also not the greatest thing to be here, although it does have the AT grenade, which can definitely be useful. Zenith is going to get into flamethrower range and will absolutely smack the Finals Arnhem now. Before that, it was not so sure, but now I think it is. Fusilier here just slowly pushed off. Converter gunners are in as well here. It is pretty much the same issue then with the Fusilier. They can definitely do a little bit there. It's not a CQC tool, but if the only thing that the Jaapaasa sends in there are the Panzergrenadier or the Finals Arnhem, they can definitely do the job much better. Sorry, had to grab a drink of food. It's actually pretty hot here now. And then the Pack 40 has apparently revealed itself by shooting AG, which means the Cromwell 6 can now be repositioned and engage it. Maybe it is not spotted anymore. This is possible. I think it is. No, Fumarin is pushed back. But if Stan remembers where it was, he can just ground attack it. It's just barely out of range. So I guess it doesn't really remember where it was exactly. Because that could end very poorly for him. Sinista now pushing in, that's going to be a bit of a problem. If you spam some FG42s against it, they will win, but you don't really want to spam your FG42s against it. It's an expensive tool. Strumpanier has been moving now. It is still not in a position where it can do much. It can spot what's moving through, though. And that is valuable. I guess that's the sole point of its existence then at the moment. Cromwell 6 is now engaging. It is not ground attacking, so it has spotted it naturally. Or something has at least. I guess these guys. Maybe. Oh, it has shot again. Probably at these guys. No? At something, at least. Still nothing happening down south. I think Jaapaasa doesn't really fully grasp how weak this is. He could definitely relieve some pressure up north by pushing down south. And in this kind of area, I think it's going to be tricky for Stan to actually really have a chance, since Jaapaasa has better CQC there. And the FG42 will also generally dominate this. So I think there's definitely an opportunity here. He needs to be careful of the Cromwell 6. I think is the thing that's really holding him back. But he could definitely do it if he realizes how weak he is there. I'm not really sure if it does. It doesn't look like it so far. So Stan actually putting a lot of pressure on Jaapaasa in this area of the map. There's also a lot of red and a lot of armor, which is not exactly cheap. So maybe Stan is out trading Jaapaasa. I'm not 100% sure. Kondong's coming in for some more CQC. I think that's it for the CQC, but now Jaapaasa is investing in CQC there, so I think it's just a little bit unfortunate for him. I think there's a little bit of an overcommitment on CQC there. Unless these all just drive through. No, they don't. But this is still the problem here. And Jaapaasa just doesn't really have to light down to it. Oh, Panzerschreck now. It already got a kill here. A Stück. Oh, that hurts. And now a transport. I think that was like a Panzergrenadier. This is so dirty. I absolutely hate it when people do this. It's just like, you know, it's not superior strategy or anything. It's really just, not to hate on Stan, it's not superior strategy or anything. It's really just, on this map, it's really hard to prevent it. So, yeah, it just happens. Jaapaasa now trying to cover things off here, but the Panzerschreck is already in a far more dangerous position. So if he's unlucky, he might lose another transport there, which is going to really set him back eventually. So far we haven't also seen any planes by Jaapaasa. He could definitely do still with a lot of that infantry by just bombing it. The armor is a whole different story. Pack 38 might be able to open up, but against 3 Cromwells it's going to be tricky. And the infantry is also there to spot it. So as soon as this thing shoots, it will get absolutely shredded by the infantry. Might get 2 shots off, and then it's probably done for. Yeah, there we go. Takes a Cromwell with it though. But that's a problem because nothing here to stop armor than that. Stück coming in for the center should probably divert over there. Now we have the Cromwell 7 coming in. This is going to be a bit of a problem. Panzerschreck has managed to move into a different spot. And this unit, unfortunately, it will get through, but it's actually much worse, I feel like, because then Jaapaasa still doesn't know what and where is actually killing his arm. I mean, he knows that it's here, but now this area is safe, so where did it go? 1311 for Stan as he grabs his flag. And once again, it's not much that what's going to them. Now the Focke-Wulf is coming in, but now these things have kind of spread out, and there's not really that much of a threat anymore, because in here, I think Jaapaasa can hold. So I'm not really sure if now was the time to buy that. What he really needs now is ATO. It looks, by the way, like the 17 pounder here killed the Jagdpanzer IV there. Big kill there. Like for this reposition is now again doing a bit more anti-infantry than AT by the looks of it. Oh no, it's engaging this Cromwell there. Bit far going after Sturmpioneer. I mean, yeah, we have to be fair. Jaapaasa also transport sniping with the Sturmpioneer there. Although that's more organically happening than, than this right here. But still. Sinisa going after Beobachter. No, Beobachter still unspotted by the looks of it. Yet. I think that will change very soon. Now, yeah, I mean, now it actually starts shooting. This is the one reason why I still put my my Beobachter and Afgler and whatnot, my 2-man recon team with SMGs on return fire, because exactly because of this. It still happens, you know. 25 pounder going after the LG42. LG42 can definitely one-shot some of these Cromwells if it hits. Now it is pinned, or not pinned, it's very stressed out. Now it's pinned. And the accuracy is not exactly great of the heat shell. So it's not super likely. And indeed, it didn't happen. Stück is in position, but this is such a narrow line of sight. I think it would have been better to cover this road, if I'm going to be honest. Now, Stan still putting up a lot of pressure. 13-11 for him again. It's hard to really criticize that, but I think I'm not really sure if this is the place to push for him though, because he passes a lot of AT here. He still has. I mean, these units are more versatile in the town. Well, not the converted RAF actually, but he has more. He has infantry worn AT. He has, you know, he has some units that can actually deal with the infantry town. He also can contest this a bit better. So, but then again, where does Stan really want to go? I think the open could definitely be a good spot. Or maybe it's time to push here, actually. But I guess that's not really the plan. Jaapaasa making a nice push up here, though. Can definitely put a lot of pressure on Stan right there. And force him to invest into, you know, preventing a collapse of this flag. Looks like, oh no, he got 2 more kills. 2 things in trucks. Disgusting. Wow, look at that. I definitely want to see what the value was of what he killed, because it has to add up. Like, that definitely makes a difference. It's so annoying. Wow. If I was Jaapaasa, I would be fuming right now. And I don't know, maybe I'm just too much of a gentleman, but this is so gross. This is so gross. I wouldn't say that I'm a gentleman, but like in terms of what I regard as you do this and what I regard as you don't do. This is no. This is one of the things where I would say like gentleman like. Like it's not that it is forbidden, you know, it's just very cheesy. To be fair, Jaapaasa could have done the same thing and decided not to. Which you can either see as you can either see as a mistake and stupidity, or you can see it as a sign of respect, gentlemanly behavior, or whatever you want to call it. I wouldn't say respect, this is not disrespecting. This is not what I wanted to say there. But yeah. You can either see it as being a nice guy and trying to play like by the nice rules, or you can call it stupidity. Either of those, or a mistake. I wouldn't say it's stupid not to do it, but if your opponent has a chance to and you know, does it, and you don't, then we could also say that why are you not doing it? It's literally like it's an advantage you can get. Or, oh, not the ship going down, or making up for a disadvantage. Either of those viewpoints are definitely valid, I would say. Might actually be able to reload to kill another one. There we go. Fallship Pioneer down. Oh, this is so rough. At least it's out of ammo now. So, and now Jaapaasa unloads. Unknowing, of course, I mean, still with the SMGs, if you can put it like right here, you can actually still unload some sort of target transport with the SMGs. Maybe. Not 100% sure. I'm not sure if the damage will do. Pack 36 here in position to snipe some of these converter, but there's so many of them. It does have HE, but not enough. I don't think so. So now the wave tactics are started. Definitely smart. I mean, this is a good way of using it by Stan, right? Just throw in a lot of these, kind of overwhelm everything, then move in with your armor as well, and you pretty much got it, right? Bockwolf now coming. 25 pound also has done a lot of work, by the way, softening up things right here. Bockwolf going for another bombing run. Kills those. But I think the armor is now more of a problem. If it gets into here, there's going to be a different story. But as long as things are at the edge of the forest and shooting at infantry, they just nicely reveal themselves with the armor. And all that Stan needs to do is just pick them up. Panzerschreck getting in position. Let's see if your Jaapaasa is too greedy. It's something that happens to me a lot. And then I think like, oh, I need to move my Panzerschreck. And then you move it, and then the armor spots it and kills it. When sometimes you just, you know, it's coming to you anyway, so let's see if this is one of these instances, or if Jaapaasa is, I mean, he's a Div 2 player, he should be smarter than me. Oh, no, he realized that Stan is not coming, and moves it forward. The problem is now the infantry is coming. And that, of course, makes it hard to use the Panzerschreck. But if he can hop into a building and pop out again, so this is generally a very good way of doing it, right? Hop in and out. Oh, these guys are in now. If they can put the Molotov on the Panzerschreck, oh, that was so unlucky for Jaapaasa. I think he definitely saw the momentum, like the right time to actually move forward and not get it killed. And then this thing moved in and killed it anyway. So that was just super unlucky by Jaapaasa. It was a nice try though. It could have definitely changed things here, because I mean, if these all died, I don't know, that could really have shifted the forces there. Now we have Crusader coming. We have a lot of Crusaders coming in. So I guess airplays by Jaapaasa here are going to be denied. So let's see if he looks for airplay somewhere else. Airplay, meanwhile, happening up north here, just bombing those out, and you're just denying Jaapaasa these flags for the whole time. Jaapaasa now pushing forward, trying to regrab this flag. They're relatively equal in points, so this is still anyone's game, but by looking at the map, it looks, it definitely, so the momentum, let's say, is definitely in Stan's favor. In terms of unit, I'm not so sure. There's also a lot of things by Jaapaasa, although I think this right here, I think, and then there's a lot of infantry here. I feel like Stan still outtrade Jaapaasa. There's definitely more in disguise as well. This is what we don't really see, right? But Stan has much more points in worth in the sky. So yeah, I think, and let's say, equal or a bit more than Jaapaasa on the grass. I think he's outtraded him, but on top of that, as we say, he has definitely the momentum, and that is very important. If you can control the momentum, you can control a lot of the flow of the game and kind of shift things into your favor. And that matters a lot. This is, I think, way more important than you realize when you start playing this game. For example, I didn't. But at some point you start, Cromwell kills the Stug. I mean, the Stug can definitely be penned by the Cromwell, and I think at this range it's also not that hard anymore, because otherwise the Stug definitely has some advantages. But this is just, yeah, this is why I'm not so sure about this division as a pick against CIABG here, because he's struggling with the light armor everywhere, and the Stugs are not exactly impenetrable. The Jaapaasa, on the other hand, is, unless the 17-pounder gets involved. Might get a kill here on a Stug. We do have a Wolfram now coming in though, and with how bunched up everything here is, this can easily equalize all of Jaapaasa's losses, I feel like. If you can get a good 1 or 2 good Wolfram strikes, that can basically take the wind out of Stan's sail here, and that would be massive, because that means that Jaapaasa has a chance to actually re-grab the initiative, and as we just said, that is very important. It still has the option to make a play down south, but it's not doing it so far. And I think the longer he waits, the less likely it is, because he has to focus more and more over here, because Stan is happy to focus on this. So I think Jaapaasa's lack of trying to find new angles to push is really hurting him a lot. He tried here, it didn't really work, but he tried, and I think this was a very good plan. I just unfortunately didn't really work out for him, but I think he should try to find another spot down south. Not just because we see this, but also because, yeah, you have to try and always find some place where you can actually apply pressure. Maybe this here is also the place. Of course, he lost a lot of reinforcement that went there, and things could have really changed if he didn't lose them, right? If he had a lot of army here, he could have probably supported a push into this town fairly well, and then things might look different as well, right? But I think this Panzer strike here might be very deciding for how things are going and how the game will end up. Because if Stan manages to keep the pressure on and take a win because of that, I think, yeah, Wolfram strike, unfortunately, is not. It's much like the German Wunderwaffe, you know. It's not really bringing the hoped effect. I mean, it kind of did, you know. The flag is secured for the time being. I think that's what's really important for Jaapaasa right now. He needs to make sure that he can re-grab that. He needs to stop the bleed. But long term, he needs to get some good trades as well. And this is not really happening yet. Wolf is stopped and flying over the A, turning in the A. I think it's going to go down. I mean, there's a lot of Crusaders here. There's a lot of 20 mils. And if you have to learn one thing, then it is that 20 mils are incredibly deadly. Not deadly enough by the looks of it, though. Spitfire coming in now, though. There's a mobile walking up north as well. There's a Typhoon coming in as well to deal with that one Jagdpanzer. Not sure if the mobile one can stop it. It's a Typhoon after all. He can. Spitfire just going after the mobile wagon, I guess. Kind of misses. Is it damaged? It is a bit damaged, yeah. The problem is it doesn't really kill. It actually has a flak 43. But it is unvetted, so it doesn't really do enough. It's very unfortunately. Not a Cromwell coming in, this time a recon one, by the looks of it. So a radio on is actually already radio there, so it's not that. Does this thing have... No, it does not have the discipline trait. Because that would have meant that none of these would have been disheartened. That would actually have been messed. I don't actually know if CIABG gets a disciplined unit. But if you do, I'm not sure if it's a bad idea to take it. If you play with that little infantry anyway and you have room for a leader. If you have a disciplined leader. Or if you have it in the support tab. Not actually sure how expensive support tab is. You will have seen it at the start. But I don't remember. I don't really play CIABG that much. But so far still just grinding it out in the center. We are in C phase though now. So the Incrom is throttled. Which can work in Jaapaasa's favor or it cannot. Wolfram can get some good kills. He can really generally like take out a lot of tools that Stan cannot easily replace. But so far, it doesn't look like it's going to. It's going after 17 pounder, which I don't think is the biggest problem. I think this right here is the biggest problem, this armor blob. So if this stands still for just a moment, Jaapaasa should probably try to go after that. But this is not really happening at the moment. Great T-gun coming in. So there's a Voltering M1919. Might just get sniped by the crumble though. No, it's not in the right position for it yet. Mobile wagon is moving. Needs to be careful though, not to get... Oh, 17 minus a position though. Snipes that, might snipe the AT-gun. No, AT-gun unloads in time. Wolfram is readjusting for the infantry, but the infantry is not the problem. I think Jaapaasa can deal with that with his infantry and with his armor, because these do not have anything against armor. I think this is the big problem. But Stan is expecting them to get hit, so he's moving them away. Or to RAF. I mean, actually, come to think about it. Pack 40 finds a crumble there. Nice kill there. Takes some of them out. And come to think about it, if with Stan's limited infantry, that might actually work out for Jaapaasa. If he can grind Stan down fast enough that his armor will just get killed if he moves into this area because of the infantry, and he doesn't have infantry to push with, then things might actually look much, much better for Jaapaasa. Let's move forward with Voltering FG42 here, just to spot what's here. So that's, he's definitely making some progress here. He's trying to see what's there. Kondung's trying to kill off the Sinister. Spitfires might kill that. No, just suppress it. Panzer MP44 could try to move forward here. What he needs is, yeah, this could maybe do the trick. I should probably lose out against the Steward, but maybe he can do the trick. So if he can somehow kill that Steward, I think he has a lot of potential here now, especially with these guys. They have Raiders, so if he can move them somewhere in where he can just, you know, grab the flag for free, that would be absolutely fantastic. 2 recon Spitfires. Now, I haven't actually realized that Stan has bought both of these, but that's actually pretty huge. Nothing covering this road now. Converted RAF just moving in. Panzerschreck coming in as well. Panzer 4 might be in danger now. Panzerschreck. Oh, kills it. Oh, that's such a big kill. That's such a big kill. And it might kill the Stug as well. Very quickly. Jaapaasa's center falling apart. The area where he actually should have the advantage right here. But he's lost so much infantry trying to stop Stan from getting to here. Right, because he was just killed at the edge of the town by all the armor and the infantry blob here. That he can't actually stop this properly. And we do have more infantry coming in now. Now he can try to stop it again. Spitfire going with another attack run on the Voltering MT1919. Problem is, gets pinned and stopped. And the Steward is still there. If one of these can find the way around here, they might also be able to kill that. But land for Jaapaasa now, as he re-grabs this flag and he finally has the one up north. But I don't think it's a very long-lasting thing, because this one looks like he's going to lose it again, and this one is probably losing very soon as well. I think what he really needs up here is a Panzerschreck. He has plenty of them, so I'm surprised he doesn't bring one. Like, this could definitely clear things out. Oh, it looks like something killed the Steward. I'm not really sure what it did. What did it? It wasn't this. This one... Not really sure about that. Don't think it will win. Now, with the health, definitely not. But even full health, I'm not so sure about that. 1311 once again. Jaapaasa also has a massive 4C, but he couldn't move it across because the armor was always stopping him from doing so. That's really, really bad. Because Arnheim was trying to make it, but now there's Convert RF to support it. Maybe he could have thrown it. I don't think so, because his hand is just too big of a problem. But yeah, he has so much infantry that could easily overwhelm this if it wasn't for the armor. And I think this is the big problem. I think this is why Walther was not a good counter pick here, because you just don't have enough mobile things to deal with armor. And that's just a general like efficiency problem always. You need to have tools to deal with armor pushing, rushing around everywhere. Or like if it is out of line of sight of your AT gun, but too close that you cannot just move in your AT gun, you need something, you need some way how you can deal with that, and this just is not really here for Jaapaasa. That is a problem, because you don't have much pushing potential. Crusader versus Möbelwagen. Oh, but wow, yeah, this is what I was waiting for. Stan pushing too deep, much like the dwarves in Lord of the Rings, just too greedy. cannot let go of it, and now he's running into all the Panzerfaust from Stan. This is what I meant. This is what is really dangerous. This is where Jaapaasa can really make a difference with his infantry. Well, the Panzerschreck now coming. No, actually, oh no, he's pushing it here. Great, and now he actually has the potential to push it. Now the question is, will it happen? Yeah, Jaapaasa has realized his chance. He's moving in. He's waited so long for this. Now he might be able to make it happen finally. Wolfram going for another big strike. Kills a Cromwell, kills some infantry. Jaapaasa might be able to re-grab this flag now. Fallschirmjäger M1919 could push forward here. Half-tracks pushing forward. There's one Cromwell and the Crusader here to hold the line. A Firefly coming in as well. So there's a little bit more than just a Cromwell and a Dream, I guess, but still. There's not that much there compared to previously. So Jaapaasa really making some ground. Oh, the MG42 wiped the FG42 here by the looks of it. Or maybe it was a plane. There's some crate to see. Of course, you can't see where the infantry died. Oh, I think the Cromwell 7 got involved. I think that was it. Because this thing would be in range. Some probably spotted it, opened up, or these guys spotted it, and then the Cromwell 6 got involved. Very unfortunate there for Jaapaasa. But yeah, see, this is one of the big problems that you can have, and I think Jaapaasa is really feeling that, or has been really feeling that at the moment, right? With like a tank just here preventing his infantry from doing much. Like, what are you going to do? You have to bring an AT gun in here that might not be the best range. Maybe there's some infantry support as well. So you need some of your armor to deal with that, and that was just not around. Wolfram now focusing the Firefly. More Cromwells coming in. Recon Cromwells are gonna run into this though. Pack 36. 2 versus 1 though. In machine gun range, I think. That's probably not good for the pack. Otherwise, easy win for the pack. 1-on-1 or at longer ranges, but yeah, it's going down. Got one shot off. Penned once though. That was just not enough. And now the Wolfram is actually endangered. And this thing is very, very crucial at the moment, I feel like. Kondongs can't do much. Crusader is here to wipe that out. 12-12 still. Jaapaasa finally grabbed the town. Now what he needs is, yeah, these guys to secure things off. He needs the AT there. He really needs it. Also, the problem is for Jaapaasa, Stan can park some armor here and kind of prevent this grab. So that's another issue that he has there. Wolfram can definitely work around that. No, he's retargeted. Would have been on spot, on target also to kill the Cromwell. There's retargeting for the Cromwell 7. And I do get it, because the Cromwell 7 is much more dangerous. But the Cromwell 7 is also, I feel like, what with a Panzerschreck here you could kill. But I guess, yeah, I mean, he doesn't have one there. Now it is moving. Jaapaasa did not put it on return fire, so unless he notices in time, that Wolfram will miss. No, he has noticed, he has stopped it. Ah, that's just unfortunate. I think he could have had the Firefly. Would he have been exacting that he might not kill that yet? But now he gets neither of those. And it's not really... It's just unfortunate. It's not really his fault. I think it's a reasonable choice because this thing he cannot really pen with some of his armor. This thing he can. But this thing can also kill a lot of his armor. Whereas these can't. So I think there's both ways of seeing it. 30-11 for Jaapaasa though. So he might be making some ground back to 12-12 as this flag is regrabbed. Very unfortunate there. This mobile wagon here has not really been doing much. So I feel like it might have been better to just move it up and risk it. Or bring it over here as well to make sure that like nothing in this area where the fighting is happening right now can actually get through. Because right now it definitely can. More than Kondong. So how many of those has he? Does he have? Like, he has been sending around quite a few of those. Another Churchill and another Crusader coming in. I mean, yeah, now he probably needs some more of the Crusaders to shred the infantry because there's not that much of his infantry that can do that. And now we have all the Cromwell shifting. Now the Stück can definitely deal with them. But it's one Stück. Oh, and the Typhoon is going to take it out. Yeah, this mobile line is too far back. Besides it focusing on the wrong target, it's too far back to do much. And now the Stück needs to be falling back. It is not killed, but it's all that he needs because the Cromwells will eventually pen it. There we go, Stück goes down. Mobile wagon is finally shifting. The Konungs are coming in, but I'm not sure how much they can do. 13-11 for Stan again. It's not looking very good for Jaapaasa. It's definitely made up a lot, but Don't think enough. But yeah, it's a rough game. It's a rough game for Jaapaasa. I just don't think that it was a good matchup to begin with, I'm gonna be honest. But I especially think he just kinda, yeah, I think he just, I don't know. Can't really say what it is. I mean, a lot of it I think was the Panzerschreck here, because we could have had some pressure here much earlier. Could have had some armor that came there. Because that took away resources that he could have used here to stop the push, and again to open up a push here. So this might have been what is deciding it, but I don't really see much of a chance for Jaapaasa at this point, unless he can really clear things out with the Wolfram. It doesn't look like it, because the lines here are collapsing. There's basically nothing here to actually hold that flag. And yeah, I think not pushing here was a big mistake. But the problem is he first would have needed to clear out the Cromwell 6. Because with that thing here, it was really tricky. And if you brought armor to deal with that, there's so... I mean, I guess from here would have been safe. But other than that... And then use it for what? Right, that's another issue. I mean, he could shift it here. There's options, but... it would have costed a lot, and Jaapaasa was not really in a spot here where he could afford a lot of units, a lot of points to be spent here in descent. So, for something that might not have brought him an opener. Not an AT gun, yeah, it's just bring them too far forward and then they get picked apart by the older Cromwells here. Mobile Wagner is probably going to die next to the Cromwell here. Yeah, Jaapaasa's entire Northern line just collapsed. Another Jagdpanzer coming. These tanks have been very useful for Jaapaasa. The problem was just that they couldn't really do, because they got still killed off in some cases. Even oh no, Mobile Wagner, I think finally going down. There we go. Some cases also due to these rocket planes, and or in this case a 17-pounder, the first one up here. So they couldn't really do enough, because I guess there was nothing to support them. It was a good, like, it's not a criticism actually, but it's just Jaapaasa lost so many units here to support these tanks before the tank could come in, and then the tank was kind of on its own. Pulling it back was also not really a thing that he could do, because otherwise he would have got overwhelmed here. So it was just a rough spot right from the start there. Yeah, Konungs here just get stopped by all the... I mean, it's not that much infantry, but still some infantry here. And the armor is, of course, a massive problem. I don't think he passes any pressure whatsoever at this point. Not a flag fallen. Not a push here by Cromwell's. Pack 40 is trying to adjust, but needs to turn first. Now he can start shooting. Now it's losing sight again. Bernings Arnhem are coming in with a tank AT grenade. Pack 40 losing line of sight again. Wolfram has moved to safety. Yeah, there we go. Typhoon gets another kill. See, this is the problem now. The AA net has fallen apart, and now the Typhoons can basically just kill these super easily. Nothing Jaapaasa can do. 15-9 for Stan now. And I mean, if you look at the map, both are, of course, since it's Maverick on Maverick, low on units, but I think in terms of value, Stan has definitely more on the map than Jaapaasa at this point. Oh, the Cromwells also make it away before the Vance Arnhem can do anything. Things really not going well for Jaapaasa today. Kondungs. So yeah, I know. I still feel like it was not really the best pick here by Jaapaasa. I'm not sure who picked first, actually. Because I don't think... Oh, Jaapaasa could sneak an Iconu through, capture the Bedford. I'm not even sure if he killed the 25-pounder that used to be somewhere around here, or if that died previously to something. Would have been great if the Iconu did it, though. It still has all of its AT grenades. Has it used ammo? It definitely has used ammo, yeah. Maybe it has killed it. Not with the grenade, though. 16-8 now, and I don't think it's much Jaapaasa. He brings another Jagdpanzer. I mean, that can kill a Cromwell and maybe stop the Walther Deck, but once Walther Deck is in the forest, it can't do much. And there's just the Typhoon is just going to come back and kill it again, right? So I think this game is pretty much lost at that point. There's not much Jaapaasa can do. But as I said, I think it was a bad matchup for Jaapaasa. I'm not really sure who first picked and who counted, but I think it was not a good counter, and it was also not a good first pick for this map. But yeah, we'll be very curious to hear the bans. So if either of those two watches this video, please let me know what the bans were. I mean, still, like, he could hold on well in this town once Stan decided to push. And I think if you have more better AA nets, he could have stopped the loss of, or prevent the loss of some crucial tanks. That might definitely have made a difference. And then, again, if things hadn't died here to that Panther Shrek, I think he could have opened another front up here and actually gotten a lot more pressure on Stan a lot earlier, and then things might have looked very, very different. Let's look at the stats. 700 points different. So that's definitely already decisive, but I think like 200 to 300 of those were definitely the Panzer Shrek. And then it's still noticeable, but I think that really could make the difference. I think this could have been, not 100% sure, I think this could potentially have been the deciding play of this game. It might not have been, it might have just contributed to an otherwise already, to a win that Stan would have gotten otherwise anyway. But I feel like it did contribute a lot, actually. Because it didn't just kill units, it made sure that Jaapaasa had no pressure whatsoever on that part of the map that he probably would have needed. Let's look through the chronology first. Actually, Jaapaasa got some kills initially, but so did Stan. Kill off armor though, and those aren't exactly cheap. And then yeah, look at that. It went, yeah. I mean, we've seen this, right? He also had the lead. It went well, and then the Panzer started picking apart things. 17 pounder kill a Jaapaasa, that was massive. Still had a lot of pressure. Then the Cromwell, the amount of Cromwell started to somewhat overwhelm him. I feel like Spitfire, yeah, I mean, the Spitfires all set it up. I think they got a lot of value. Maybe not that many kills, I'm not sure. I think they pinned mostly and stopped things, but that mattered a lot. There we go, yeah, look at that. I think the armor blobs, see, but this is what I meant. You don't have good tools to deal with the armor, really. I mean, the Jaapaasa 4s were great, but you just lost them too quickly. And then, yeah, and then the infantry blob just pushing forward, of course, was also a pretty big game changer. Wolframen, yeah, I mean, it did a lot. Just didn't do enough, fortunately. But yeah, I mean, here's where Stan just dominated, and it's just patches of Stan and then patches of both players equally trade. But of course, that means that Stan is still favored. So Recon Cromwell, yeah, look at that, did some good killing there. The Panzer Shrek killed, oh my god. See, this would have been absolutely crucial. Both streaks as well. That's already 160 points. That's together probably 185. I think that's 25, so that's 100 and 210, right? Another pack 40 is another, what, 60? 65. That would be 275 plus another pack. So yeah, I think we're talking about 300 points here. Just by this, and he didn't even have to do much for it, so that was pretty clutch. Cromwell here also doing a decent amount of work. Recon Cromwell also doing a good amount of work, so yeah, it just adds up all together. Now on the other side, yeah, look at that, the Cromwell's just, I mean, the Cromwell buff was so effective, really. There's not much Jaapaasa could do against that, because everything that he brings will just get immediately suppressed or pinned, except for the Jaapanthers, but Stan did a great job at dealing with them. Otherwise, Pack 38 also doing a good job. Yeah, the Panzer did also do some work. Jaapanzer also did do some work. Focke-Wulf actually got some good kills as well. And then the Wolframen, but most of it is infantry and not super expensive one. It still adds up, it makes a difference, but it just couldn't offset the losses he got otherwise. But yeah, great game. Congratulations to Stan for winning the finals, and yeah, sorry for Jaapaasa for only making second, but still congratulations to making second. I mean, it's still a good achievement. And yeah, was a very enjoyable match. Now curious to see who secures third. I don't actually remember who has a chance for it. I don't think that game has yet been played. So that one is still open, but first and second are locked in. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day and see you next time. Thanks for watching.